with formal education. And again, there was a very big debate. I remember Professor Ogot, then he was Vice Chancellor of Moi University, writing a very long piece on the newspaper and saying how I was going the wrong direction and that I was trying to elevate plumbing and carpentry and all to the status of a university. But today, again, I'm very proud that we have all realized that STEM is the space where we are going to get the leadership of the future. That's where we're going to generate engineers, that's where we're going to generate the scientists of the future, and that's where we're going to generate all the people who will not only acquire knowledge, but apply that knowledge in a much more practical way. And that now Waziri has the easy task of progressing that. And I'm happy, Waziri, with what you're doing, progressing it now to more industry-based training. And today, I remember then we only had, I think, 13 technical training colleges. When I became Minister for Higher Education, we escalated that. And in the last, I think, 15 years, we have grown technical training colleges to now 254, I think. And we have moved the students. We have moved the students from almost 89,000 in 2013. Now we are at 700,000. We have actually, in the last 3 years, we've moved the number of students from 380,000 to now 700,000. Again, it builds into the whole space around education. We must be minded about access, affordability, relevance. You know, this is where I want to encourage the greater leadership to keep the focus on accessibility, on relevance, because sometimes people teach for the sake of people getting degrees and papers. But we must also equally be focused on relevance so that education can help us solve the problems of now and figure out how we can do better into the future. This milestone, as I have said, aligns with the broader transformation of university education in Kenya. As of 2025, our country boasts 82 accredited universities, 45 public and 37 private. With today's ceremony, Gretsa becomes the 31st private university to receive a full charter, further reinforcing the central role private institutions play in expanding access and cultivating work-ready graduates. The word of this charter is, above all, a celebration of partnership, government and private sector working together to ensure high standards, broaden opportunities, and train graduates who contribute meaningfully to national progress. Greater University stands as a compelling evidence that collaboration delivers results. Congratulations to the sponsors of this great institution. I know it's quite a proud moment for you. In 2029, universities will admit the first cohort of competence-based education and training graduates. The government of Kenya is fully committed to ensuring that institutions, curricula, and faculty are ready. Universities must therefore embrace new pedagogies, practical learning models, staff retooling, and lifelong learning to make this transition successful. I say this again because when I was elected into office 3 years ago, we had another crisis in the education sector. We had 3 fundamental problems. Number 1, we had a chronic teacher shortage. Number 2, we had a competence-based curriculum that was misunderstood both by parents, by teachers, and by even learners. And number 3, we had a chronic problem on university funding, or higher education funding specifically. For those of you in this space, and I'm sure Kuria knows, many universities were technically insolvent. Actually, almost 23 universities were technically insolvent because the model of funding that we had adopted was not working. But you know, because education is a very sensitive space, nobody wanted to touch it. We all knew that something needs to be done. But everybody was apprehensive because education is very emotive. It's about parents and their children. And you know, all of us as parents, we are very protective about our children. So we had to navigate a very difficult path. But I am very confident today that 3 years down the line, we have straightened the CBC curriculum. We have brought the stakeholders on board. And in fact, we have transitioned from competence-based curriculum to competence-based education and training, what we now call CBET. There is now greater alignment, greater understanding from learners through teachers to parents. Number 2, we have more or less solved the problem of teacher shortage. In the last 3 years, by December, by next month, we will have hired 100,000 teachers, again, to close the gap on teacher shortage. And we have invested more resources, working with members of parliament, working with development partners. We have built an extra 23,000 classrooms across. And my instructions to the ministry is that now we expand laboratories by another 1,600, is it, Julius? 1,600 laboratories, especially in schools that are in remote areas. It is not right that a student comes to do an exam in a laboratory for the first time they are entering a laboratory. So it is very important that we close the gaps in those spaces. And number 3, we have now changed the university funding model. Instead of focusing on the institutions, we decided to focus on the student. Now we have a student-focused university funding model so that we assess every student on the basis of merit and on the basis of ability. And therefore, it is not possible anymore to lock out any student. And we want to make it possible for all our learners to have equal access to university education. And I know Gretza would have wanted the government to have some government-sponsored students. I don't know whether you did have that in the past. But I don't have very good news for you. I have to straighten the space first because we overcommitted ourselves as government. And we actually brought a lot of trouble to many universities. I know one university that had to close down because government sent students to that university. They spent all the money they had to train and teach the students, and then government did not come through because we had limited resources. So we're trying to cut our cloth the size of what we can afford. So, but progressively, I know that we will, as we expand the space, we will find a partnership that will not undermine your ability to teach, but will also give us space to train more and teach more. I'm sure the experts in my team and all the other people in that space and the stakeholders will begin to imagine how are we going to do this. And I am very particular about the matter of education because as a country, the biggest asset we have is our human capital. It is bigger than any gold we can find. It is bigger than any minerals we can find. Our human capital. Today, many Kenyans may not know that the resources that we get from Kenyans working outside Kenya is upwards of $5.1 billion every year. That is in the region of almost 700 billion. It is higher than what we get from tea, what we get from coffee, what we get from horticulture, all of it combined. We still make more money from our human capital than from the export of any crop or any commodity. And that is why education becomes significantly important for us as a country. It is also the reason why I have deployed more resources into the education sector. This year, Ogamba, we are at 702 billion shillings. Yes, we have, because it is, many people may not know, but that is the biggest asset that we have as a country. And we are lucky that we have literally the best human capital you can find anywhere in the world. I have been to many countries, and I have spoken to many institutions. And Kenyan human capital is premier human capital. And I'm very proud of it. A week ago, 10 days ago, I was in Qatar, and the government there was saying, you see, we have Kenyans working for us here. They are outstanding, and we are offering another 13,000 positions for Kenyans to work in their country. I know many people look at it as brain drain. And in my very honest opinion, I think it's not brain drain, it is brain gain. Because the more Kenyans work outside, the greater the exposure they have, and the more they bring back to our nation. The experience they get outside there, the knowledge they get outside there, the transfer of skills that comes as a result of Kenyans who work outside, the work ethic that comes with it informs what we do as a country. And much more importantly, it is a resource that we have as a country that we are happy to share with the global community. We are lucky that Kenyans speak some of the very best English in the whole world. I think there are Kenyans who speak better English than the English men and women themselves. Certainly, we speak better English than all African nations. If you listen to other people speak, I don't want to mention which ones, you will not know whether they're speaking English. And so, because we have a great human resource, we are proud to share with the rest of the world, and in the process, use it as an asset to develop our own country. This morning, I was having a conversation with companies that we have agreed with to build with us the road from Rironi to Mau Summit, which is starting in the next week or so. And the conversation I was having with them is on skills transfer. We are putting up the largest road infrastructure under a private-public partnership, the first, the largest in the Republic of Kenya. And we would want expertise that will help us in going into the future for us to be able to do this with our own human capital. You know, when I was Minister for Higher Education, many people thought plumbing is a job for, you know, people very down there. Until we built the SGR. You cannot believe it. We imported plumbers to come and do the SGR. Plumbers. Because plumbing, I discovered, was such a very high-skilled job that not everybody can do it. And yet, if you ask ordinary people here, they think plumbing is for the people who have not gone to school. You know? So there is a lot that we have to rethink as we drive our education system. And therefore, I want to encourage Greater University, as I do all our other universities and institutions of higher learning, to invest more in research to get us better professionals, to build, you know, partnerships and collaboration across the world so that we can up the knowledge that we transfer to our students, we can improve on our skills, and we can improve on our professional and all the other skills that we need. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge all universities to integrate artificial intelligence into their teaching, research, and institutional operations. I commend the Ministry of Education for developing a national oral policy that will guide structured, high-quality online learning across all our universities. Research and innovation must remain the foundation of our universities. Institutions must bridge the gap between theory and practice so that their graduates become job seekers, job creators, innovators, and central actors in Kenya's industrialization and economic growth. To the founders, Chancellor Kibathi Mbogwa, Vice Chancellor Peter Ndishu Karanja, and the entire leadership, staff, and students and alumni. Thank you for your dedication and integrity. Under Dr. Mbogwa's visionary leadership and Dr. Karanja's dynamic stewardship, Greater has upheld its promise of excellence, relevance, and service. To the students of Greater, and it's unfortunate I'm told there is a graduation tomorrow. I wish I would have made it to the graduation, but I have now an invitation to come to one of the ceremonies, and I look forward to, were you serious about the invitation? You know, some of these invitations are formalities, just so that you look good, but you don't mean it. Yeah, you're serious, right? So if you're serious, I'm sure you will send a letter to me, and we will handle it. Simon here, Deputy Comptroller, comes from Moranga. You can even give him by hand when he's coming from home. So to the students and of Greater University, seize every opportunity, learn with intention, nurture your talent, sharpen your curiosity, and prepare yourselves to lead, to innovate, and to solve the problems of the present and the future. Your education is the anchor upon which Kenya's future will stand. Strong universities build strong communities, strong industries, and a strong nation. By equipping learners with skills, values, and knowledge, institutions like Greater fuel our national transformation and enhance Kenya's competitiveness on the global stage. Congratulations to Greater University, to Mom here, I know she's very emotional about this moment. And I want to tell you, Ma'am, you now join the distinguished ranks of Kenya's fully chartered private universities, a testament of your vision, progress, and promise. May your future be defined by academic excellence, groundbreaking research, and graduates of character who will build our nation. Thank you very much, and congratulations again.